The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Siriya Boonlert. Chapter 6. In the Graveyard. At 9:30 that night, Tom and Sid were sent to bed as usual. They said their prayers and Sid was soon asleep. Tom lay awake and waited in restless impatience. The clock struck 11. Then 3 came Huck's signal, the mewing of a cat. A minute later Tom was dressed and out of the window. He crept along the roof of the bushes and then jumped to the ground. Huckleberry Finn was there with his dead cat. The boys moved off and disappeared in the darkness. Half an hour later they were stepping through the tall grass of the graveyard. It was on a hill about a mile and a half from the village. A faint wind moaned through the trees and Tom feared that it might be the spirit of the dead complaining about his disturbance of their rest. The boys talked in whispers for the time and the place. The solemnity and the silence had a depressing effect on them. They found the heap of during dark earth which they were seeking, and craved within the protection of three great trees and grew within a few feet of the grave. Then they waited in silence for what seemed a long time. The mournful cry of a distant bird was the only sound that troubled the dead stillness. Huck, do you believe the dead people like us to be here? Said Tom in a whisper. I wish I know, whispered Huck. It's awfully solemn, wasn't it? It is. There was a long pause. I say, Huck, do you think Horace Williams can hear us taking? Of course he can, at least his spirit can. Another long pause followed. I wish I said Mr. Williams breathed Tom, but I never meant any harm. Everybody calls him Horace. You should be very careful how you talk about these dead people, Tom. This was discouraging, and conversation died again. Suddenly Tom seized Huck's arm and exclaimed, "Shh! What is it, Tom?" The two boys held on to each other, their hearts beating fast. "Shh! There it is again! Didn't you hear it? Oh, Tom, they're coming! They're coming! What we do?" "I don't know. Do you think they see us?" "Oh, Tom, they can see in the dark just like cats. I wish I had come." The boys bent their heads together and scarcely breathed. A dull sound of voice floated up from the far end of the graveyard. "Look there," whispered Tom. "What it is?" "It's devil fire!" "Oh, Tom, this is awful!" Some ragged figures approached through a gloom swimming an old-fashioned lamp. "It's the devil, I'm sure. 3 of them. Tom will never get away alive. Can you pray?" "I try, but don't be afraid. They are not going to hurt us." "Shh! What is it, Huck?" "They're human beings. One of them is, I'm certain." That's old Peter's voice. "No, it isn't." "It is. I know it. Don't stir. He isn't tough enough to notice as drunk as usual, I expect. All right, I keep still. Here they come again, I say hug. I know another of them is Redskin join. That's so, that murdering half-breed. I rather have devils. What do they want? The three men rest the grave and stood within a few feet of the boy's hiding place. Here it is, said the third voice, and the owner of it held the lamp up and revealed the face of young Dr. Lawson. Peter and Redskin Joe had a handcart from which they took a blanket, a loaf, and two spades. Then they began to open the grave. Hurry, men, said the doctor in a low voice. The moon may come out at any moment. They made an indistinct reply and went on digging for some time. There was no noise but the sound of the spades moving the earth. Finally, a spade struck the coffin, and within another minute or two, the men had lifted it out. They broke off the lid with their spades, got out the body, and dropped it roughly on the ground. The moon sailed out from behind the clouds and lit up the shaggy face, and handcart was got ready and the body was placed on it, covered with the blanket and burnt in its place with the rope. Peter took out a knife, cut the end of the rope, and then said, "Now the curtain thing ready, Sobbons, and your hand out another $5, or here instead." "That's their way to take," said Roskin Joe. "What does this mean?" asked the doctor. "You demanded your pay in advance, and I have paid you." "Yes, and you have done more than that," said Roskin Joe, approaching the doctor. 5 years ago, you drove me away from your father's kitchen one night. Then I came to ask for a bit of bread, and you called me a scoundrel when I swore that I'd make you suffer for that, even if it took me 100 years. Your father had me put in prison as a vagabond. Did you think that I, with native blood in me, would forget your treatment? And now I have got you, and you must pay for it." He was threatening the doctor with his fist in his face by this time. The doctor stuck out suddenly and knocked the villain down. Peter dropped his knife and exclaimed, "Here, don't strike my partner." The next moment, Peter and the doctor were fighting fiercely. Redskin Joe sprang to his feet, his eyes flaming with fury, snatched up Peter's knife, and went creeping cat-like about the struggling men, seeking for an opportunity. Suddenly, the doctor tore himself free, seized the heaving headboard of William's grave, and stunned Peter with it. At the same instant, the half-breed saw his chance and drove the knife up to the handle in the young man's wrist. He staggered and fell partly upon Potter, flooding him with his blood. At the same moment, the crowd covered up the dreadful spectacle, and the two terrified boys seized this opportunity to creep away in the darkness. When the moon came out again, Redskin Joe was standing over the two men, regarding them thoughtfully. The doctor murmured something, gave a long gasp or two, and was still. The half-beast muttered, "That account is settled. Curse you." Then he dropped the body. After doing so, he put the fatal knife in Potter's right hand and sat down on the broken coffin. 3, 4, 5 minutes passed, and then Potter began to stir and moan. His hand closed upon the knife. He raised it, glanced at it, and let it fall with a shiver. Then he sat up, pushing the body from him, and gazed at it and around him confused. His eyes met Redskin Joe's. "Good heavens! What's this, Joe?" he said. "It's a nasty business," replied Redskin Joe without moving. "What did you do it for?" I didn't do it." Potter trembled and went white. "I thought I wasn't drunk. I shouldn't have touched any drink tonight, but it's in my head yet. I can't remember anything about this. Tell me, Joe, truthfully now, old fellow, did I do it, Joe? Upon my soul and honor, I swear that I never mean to. Joe, tell me how it happened. Joe, oh, it's awful." And he was just a fine young doctor. While you two were stuttering, and he hit you with the headboard and knocked you down. Then you got up, snatched the knife, and stuck it into him just as he hit you again. You have been lying here till now. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. It was all on account of the drink and excitement. I'm sure I never used a weapon in my life before, Joe." The poor creature dropped on his knees and held out his arms before the murderer. "Joe, don't tell. Say that you won't tell, Joe. That's a good feeling. I have ever liked you, Joe, and divided you too. You won't tell, will you, Joe?" "No, you always been good to me, Potter, and I'll keep my mouth shut. Oh, Joe, you're an angel, and bless you for this till my dying day." He began to cry. "Come now, that's enough of that," said Redskin Joe. "You got that way, and I'll do this. Move now, and don't leave any track behind you." Potter hurried away, and the half-breed stood looking after him. If he as much sternness with Hebrew and as stupid with the drink as he seemed to be, Redskin Joe muttered, "He won't think of the knife till he's gone so far that he be afraid to come back for it, the coward."